Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Happy Bloomsday. Bloomsday is an unofficial holiday here in the United States. It might be official over there in Dublin, in Ireland, right? But here, it is for only the literature lovers, and more pointedly, the ones who love James Joyce and honor the kind of remembering what he has done, what he did in his literature. Last year, what we did, we had a group read, Bits of Lit, Lucas, the Codex Cantina boys, Una and Crypto, and I did a buddy read and a dive into Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. It was really, really good. It was really cool to get in there like that and really experience Joyce. Joyce is always a mind-blowing experience. The reason Bloomsday is what it is because Ulysses, his book, takes place over one day, and that day is June 16th, 1904. And so June 16th has now become this day, Joyce's day, right? James Joyce's day. I'm not going to be talking about Ulysses or Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, or even Dubliners today. Today I'm going to talk about Finnegans Wake. The Wake is something that is just not widely read, and it is completely mind-blowing. Like, what you have to just dive in. You have to just immerse yourself in what Joyce is doing there. It is ultra stylized, and ultra stylized in a way of Joyce was like a master of styles, and he was fluid, like a chameleon, fluid, able to just go into whatever narrative structures he wanted. His creativity is off the charts, and he's a master of language, phonetic writing of words, and even combining words to create deeper meanings of what's said, things like that. There's a it's amazing. So if you haven't come in contact with Joyce, I definitely recommend Dubliners, but Finnegans Wake is something that is completely mind-blowing, and I see Joyce as primarily a poet. He was more concerned, I think, with this kind of delivery. Finnegans Wake definitely deserves to be read out loud. It is a beautiful sounding, in all of Joyce sounds beautiful, and when you read it, you're just like, heart, like, it is just heartwarming, the kinds of ways that language is used. You see some beautiful things. Why I have the Egyptian Book of the Dead up here is because the Finnegans Wake uses the Egyptian Book of the Dead as its scaffolding in much the way that Ulysses is using Homer's The Odyssey as its scaffolding. It is a structural thing, but it's also in the way that it is a history of the human race. All right, like becoming, but not a historical kind of history, but an inner history. Humanity, how humanity grows and has grown, and what we do as human beings in our minds to find meaning, place meaning, construct meaning, whatever. Another thing, I have William Blake's Jerusalem, Emanation of the Giant Albion up here because James Joyce loved Blake's whole mythology and everything that he had done, and saw in Blake what he wanted to do. What it is pouring your entire being into your art. Your art, your craft is your love, and is for lack of a better word, your savior. Blake said that much very explicitly. and saw himself as a prophet by simply being an honest person, honest with himself and honestly communicating that to other human beings. Blake was, of course, a master of the English language and one of the most beautiful poetic voices that we've ever had. And it is no surprise that James Joyce loved William Blake and strove to do what William Blake did, which is to pour himself into his art so completely and so generously that we, you know Dublin by reading Ulysses. And you know the fears, the hopes, the dreams of humanity by reading Finnegans Wake. I have not read the entire Wake. I dip in, and that I just wanted to put that out there for sure that I'm no authority on the Wake. What I use to understand a lot of what what Finnegans Wake is saying is this one right here, which is an unbelievable analysis of Finnegans Wake called A Skeleton Key to Finnegans Wake by none other than Joseph Campbell. But it is Joseph Campbell along with Henry Morton Robinson. And this was done before the time of the internet, which is completely unbelievable that these kind of connections and everything could be made. Joseph Campbell was just a force. And then I have this one here, which is Let Me Be Los. We'll get to that in a minute, that one line in Finnegans Wake. And this is a code book to Finnegans Wake, put out by the Station Hill Press. And this is done by Francis Phipps, with a lot of allusions to the Egyptian Book of the Dead as scaffolding to the story, and also Blake's mythology. So, just after that little bit, I thought that I'd just read a bit of the Wake. Like I said, that it is very fruitful to read out loud. Not that I'm going to do a great job, because it is something that is tough to even kind of read. It is cool to read it kind of out loud to yourself. I do sub-vocalize every bit of this when I read it, no matter how. You just can't read it fast and just kind of flow through it. It is for the enjoyment of the language itself. Part 1, this is in 6 parts, I believe, maybe 7 parts. Part 1 is, and then chapter 6 is where I'm at. We're in kind of a question and answer portion of what is going on. And the question is, what means the saloon slogan summon in the house sweep Dinah? Answer, talk. Glory bits of the sails of cloth now and I have to beeswax the beginning and all the clam of the porks to us how I thought I knew this stain on the flour. If me ask I could speak and he called me by my maiden name, Tick. I am your honey sugar, Pifflet the bay, and who bruck the dandy lass, and who seen the black Cullen jam from Tamora's big picnic. I hope it'll pour praise the climate of all Ireland. I heard the grackles, and I skimming the crock on all you sandwiches. Fippence per leg per drake. Tuck. And who ate the last of the goose bellies that was molding from the measliest years, and who left that there, and who put that here, and who let the Kilkenny stale the chump? Tech. And who was it? You was it. Propped the pot on the yard, and what in the name of sin, Luke, are you rubbing the side of the floor of the lobby with? Shite, will you have a plate full? Tack. In that little answer right there, we have all these verbal flourishes, and if you want to see it, you can look up. Let me see what page I was on. Yeah, I'm at the bottom of page 141 to the top of page 142. There's all these kind of verbal flourishes. You have to just read it as you see it, and then you can take in the meaning. But these tick, tack, tuck, talk in between what is being said are a clock running, right? There is a clock going, and it's just right in that paragraph that happens. It doesn't happen in the before or after paragraphs. It's just in that answer. So what is it that Joyce is doing there? Well, I think that what he's doing is showing that the creative consciousness, the mind of the poet, writer, that these insightful kind of inspirational moments, that they happen in between the seconds. They happen in the in-between moments. That comes from William Blake. William Blake is informing me in thinking about it like that. Blake was very big on that kind of thing, and in Jerusalem points that exactly out, that the poetic, the prophetic, inspirational mind works in the in-between moments, in between the seconds, that kind of thing. The last part that I wanted to share is just this last paragraph. We'll see how I can do, right? This is the same chapter, or part 1, chapter 6, and I'm on page 154. Ask my index, mund my he's been asked what time it is. Can you check your watch and tell me the time? Ask my index, mund my Achilles, swell my oblum, wash up my nays serene, answered the Muska. Rapidly, by turning Clement, urban, ingenious, and Celestian in the foremost of good groggery humors. Quote a whore? That is quite about what I came on my missions, with my intentions, Lottie Blitter, to settle with you, Barbaroos. Let Thor be Orlog, let Pauline be Irene, let you be beaten, and let me be Los Angeles. Now measure your length, now estimate my capacity. Well, Sour, is this space of our couple of hours two-dimensional for you, temporizer? Will you give you up? So there is just a lot to unpack, even in just one simple paragraph from Joyce. Anybody who's come in contact Joyce will know that. But I will call attention to just that of let me be Los Angeles right there. As to the name of this, let me be Los is taken from that line. That let me be Los Angeles is a way that Joyce is using language to in just a quotidian, day-to-day, normal way of speaking. But what it actually says is let me be Los, who is the main personage in William Blake's Jerusalem. Imagination itself, the one that keeps the divine vision in time of trouble. And we are asked to come along with Los, as we are with Joyce, to enter into imagination itself, into storytelling and constructing narratives. And that's what this life is all about in a big way. Thank you very much, BookTube. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.